Hi, I'm Alison with Quilts and More magazine, and this video is brought to you by Baby Lock. Quilt-as-you-go is a great way to get a quilt pieced and quilted in smaller, more manageable sections, and I'm going to show you how to do it. First, decide how many sections you'd like to quilt. You can quilt individual blocks or piece the blocks into rows and quilt each row. Keep in mind, the more sections you use, the more seams you'll have to join. Cut your batting to the finished size of the section you'll be quilting, and finished being once your block is totally assembled. So in this case, we'll leave a 1/4 inch around so that all that bulk isn't caught up in the seams when you stitch your blocks together. And then you'll layer it onto your backing piece, and you'll want your backing to be slightly larger so you have a little room to maneuver when you're quilting. And then you'll baste the layers together using basting spray or pins. Leave around 1/2 inch unquilted around the edges for joining the blocks or rows together. We recommend using a marking tool such as an air-soluble marker to mark the edges of your blocks so you don't quilt in those areas. Now you're ready to quilt. Once you've quilted, trim the backing even with the top. Now we'll join the blocks together. All right, we're gonna fold the backing and get it out of the way, and we're just gonna pin it in place. We're gonna put several pins in here. Next, we're gonna put the two blocks right sides together, making sure these edges are aligned. And you can go ahead and clip them together or use pins. Just make sure those edges are aligned. Now carefully sew the top together, taking care not to get the batting or backing caught in the seam. To avoid hitting the pins, pull them out as you go. Once you have your pieces joined together, you're going to have several layers. You're going to have your quilt blocks and then 2 layers of backing. So you're going to press your quilt blocks and 1 layer of backing all in one direction. And then with this other piece of backing, you're going to iron it about 1/4 inch and fold it over to cover up those other edges. You can stitch this in place by hand or by machine. Keep in mind, if you stitch it by machine, this seam will show through the top as well. Use the same technique to join all of your blocks or rows until the quilt is complete. This quilt-as-you-go method is a great way to quilt an entire top on your domestic machine. The pieces are much easier to handle while quilting, especially while using a machine with a smaller throat space. It's a great way to build your free motion quilting skills.